All right, I got to level with you. My belly has been acting up all day. It's just like I'm in meetings, I'm at mass at the med campus, and it's just like, and they're like, is there an orca around here? I'm like, no. It's just my belly. And even after I had my snack, which I'm always worried about, like, is this the right snack? And they're like, just take your own advice, priest, and just don't worry about it. Just try to be faithful. So I have like my little Cliff Bar with the banana, like just kind of eating it, and my belly's like, and then, but even after that, even after I had that snack, I'm like, now it's even worse. And so I'm just like sitting and talking with students, and I'm like, like I'm just trying not to belch, like the loudest belch of all time. But I'm pretty sure it's going to happen right in the middle of the ashes. So just fair warning if you're on my side, okay? I think that for just the sake of the argument, we need to just acknowledge what Lent is and what it's not. And I hope that if some of you were here on Sunday, you can remember that Lent is about resurrection, it's about springtime, it's about the newness of life that comes in encountering God, and this is the season that we get to do together, and that we don't have to worry so much about doing it right as much as it is about the encounter with the living God. Rephrased, don't make Lent about the what. Make Lent about the who. If you make Lent about the what, then at the end of it, you will, as we hear in the gospel, receive your reward. Congratulations. You were only on TikTok 5 hours a day. Okay, that's great. Some of you are like, I feel seen. I'm like, good. But in the middle of that, maybe if you do the thing that you're supposed to do just right, you'll have a good experience. You'll have a good Lent. But Lent isn't about some self-improvement plan. I did these things and I feel good about myself. That's great. But if you've missed out on the encounter with Jesus, boy, it's just kind of an empty orca feeling, just filled with a lot of gaseous air. I know what I'm talking about here. I would also encourage you, if you're going to make Lent about the who, that you allow Jesus to do some of the heavy lifting with you. Okay, I'm going to give up this thing, or I'm going to do more of this. Great. Why don't you talk to God about what that looks like concretely? And I saw a priest online who posted something like, I've given up for Lent telling people what I'm giving up for Lent. And I was like, I like that, right? Because it's really none of your business what it is that we're giving up. Maybe we can build each other up by sharing what we're giving up for Lent. But if I'm allowing Jesus to be the one to show me how to do these prayers, these penances, these almsgiving, then maybe my relationship with Jesus will blossom. Maybe my desire to fall in love with the Lord will bloom. Maybe I'll have the courage and the strength to let it be about His courage and His strength. That He'll be the one that'll drag me out of bed in the morning or drag me out of bed in the afternoon and get me to the CSC for Mass. Right? Maybe He'll be the one that'll help me to say no to some of those temptations that all of us, young and old, face. All of the things that demand our attention, all of the bitterness and the negativity and the cynicism that can just weigh us down. Focusing on the who then allows us to recognize that Lent and every other liturgical season is about participating in God's love, in God's life. And that's why He willingly dies, so that you can have a share in that eternal life. Christians are so weird. Why are y'all rubbing dirt on your heads? I had a priest friend that said, I'll rub dirt on your head every Sunday if you come to church. And I was like, oh, wow, that's actually an incentive. But maybe we need to remember why it is that we're sealed with ashes. We're sealed with ashes because we become a visible sign. In the second reading, we hear about the invitation to become ambassadors. And I don't know about you, but sometimes I feel uncomfortable witnessing to my faith. And this is the priest talking. Sometimes we'll be at a restaurant and I'll be like, because I just want to eat my meal, right? Or I don't want to, maybe the other person isn't practicing their faith. I don't want to make them feel uncomfortable. But ash on your forehead is really something that says that you're willing to try to be a witness to God's love to the world. That you're willing to take those palm branches from last year that were waved high and allow them to be burned and smeared on your forehead so that the cycle continues, so that the opportunity to fall deeper in love with the Lord continues. And then, even after the ashes are wiped off your face, and undergrads, sorry, some of you, maybe if we see the ashes on your forehead tomorrow, we're going to call you out for not bathing. Sorry, I should have made that about grad students too. So, but to know that as there is this opportunity to continue to witness, that hopefully it's not the ashes on your forehead anymore, but it's the sign of the cross that's been made over your heart. And that you're allowing Jesus, as you're journeying together in this season of Lent, to really open up what a relationship with God looks like. It leads us to Good Friday. It leads us to the Passion, where the disciples of Jesus, who've staked everything, all of their life, see it just go up in smoke, see it just vanish before their very eyes, as their best friend is arrested and brutally murdered. They can't even bear to witness. They run away, most of them. But I think you and I recognize that that's not the end of the story, and that our preparation in the season of Lent for what happens in those 3 holy days, the Triduum, then propels us and launches us into the Easter people that we are always called to be. That's what Jesus is also trying to get at in the gospel when he says, don't be gloomy, don't be miserable, don't be dour. Instead, go into the inner room and commune with your God, and then go out into the streets like my disciples will, as he's foretelling it, and proclaim the goodness of what it is to be a follower of Jesus. Yeah, you've got questions. Yeah, you're struggling. Yeah, you're uncertain. Yes, the world is filled with calamities, but Jesus has already claimed it. And no one has power over Christ. And you, by participating in the who of Lent, get to become a member of that and a witness to it. So we're going to rub dirt on your heads now, and it's going to be enjoyable, right? And I think that as we hear in a very special way, remember you are dust and unto dust you shall return, that parentheses, yeah, but there's also something very beautiful that awaits me after returning to that dust. It's living in the new life, and that new life is available to you today if you invite Jesus to be the reason for this holy season.